Have you ever been told, just be yourself, you're fine just the way you are? Rubbish! You want to act better than that. There's a great movie called Boiler Room featuring Vin Diesel and Ben Affleck where they set up this rather corrupt organisation which sells stocks and shares in companies. And in one of the scenes, Ben Affleck is speaking to some new recruits in the boardroom. Some of them aren't doing very well in their sales, and he says to his new recruits, we have a saying here that says, act as if. And he starts talking to them about how acting as if you're the owner of the company raises your game and makes you drive sales. Now let's just explore that for a minute. Think about if you do act like you're the owner of the company that you work for. Let's be honest, if you act like you're the boss, you're going to take far more responsibility. You're going to care more about the work that you're doing because your income is linked to it. Because you care more, the reality is the quality of the work that you're doing is going to go up. You're going to pay far more attention to detail and it's going to matter more to you. Now, even though you might not be the boss, you might just be an employee, the reality is if the quality of your work goes up, if you're putting in much more effort, you're going to get noticed. You might actually get that promotion that you've been thinking about. What would happen if you acted as if you were a professional athlete? Well, let's be honest, you'd probably take your training a lot more seriously. If you acted as if you had a race to run at the weekend, a football match to play, or a big boxing match happening, you'd want to put more effort into your morning exercise routine or going to the gym after work because it would mean more. You'll also set higher standards for yourself and you'll make your workouts longer and more intense. And the upside of all this is that you're going to get fitter, you're going to see better results in a much shorter period of time. What would happen if you acted as if you were a millionaire? Now, I'm not suggesting that you start splurging money you haven't got on fancy cars and fancy holidays that you can't afford. But if you did start acting as if you had more money than you actually did, you'd probably not get so protective about the money you do have. Sometimes it is a good idea to spend money. Sometimes you have to invest in yourself. Sometimes you have to replace things that are not working for you and are actually costing you more money in the long run. I remember in the long run I had a car which I'd had for a while, it was breaking down a fair bit, things were going wrong with it. I didn't want to spend the money to replace it, I thought I can just spend some money going to the mechanics and getting it fixed up. But the reality is I probably spent hundreds, if not thousands of pounds in keeping this car on the road when if I'd just invested an extra 3 or 4 grand I could have bought myself a fairly new car which would have been much better. There is also the reality that if you stop getting so protective over money, stop being so tight-fisted, you'll stop worrying about it more and you'll actually start to be a bit more free with your spending and start enjoying life a little bit more. What would happen if you acted as if you had everything? Now again, I'm not suggesting you start acting really cocky and arrogant and start acting like you're really aloof, but think about it, if you acted as if you didn't want for anything, you'd start to be a lot more content. You wouldn't start wanting things like Ferraris, Porsches, which people who you assume have everything already have in their possession. You'll probably become a lot less jealous. You'll stop looking at other people and comparing yourself to what they've got because you won't start thinking, I have to be better than this person, I have to be better than that person. You'll have everything. Acting as if makes you go the extra mile. Acting as if will stop you wanting for things that you don't have at the moment and some of which you probably don't need anyway. Acting as if raises your standards and makes you drive yourself on more. You'll create more abundance in your own mind and you'll start raising your standards. Thanks very much for watching, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. If you found this useful or helpful, then like and subscribe to the channel. You can also find us at Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.